Hello, fellows. We are here with another fantastic piece of cinematography capturing the various inner goings of the league. Let's start with the standings. We have the Cleveland Cavaliers atop the East. They've only lost 6 games with LaMelo Ball and Ayton and Shaden Sharp, Kuminga, Kessler. Their point differential got a little worse from last sim to this sim, like maybe 1 or 1.5 worse, but generally still really impressive. The Magic, I think their point differential may have gotten better. They have Donovan Mitchell, Zion Williamson, obviously. The Bulls, 3-time champions, are in the 3 spot with SGA, Bane, Daniels, Kristaps Porzingis, and they added Joel Embiid. Cookie's team, the Hawks, are in the 4 spot with Garland, Jaren Jackson, Evan Mobley. Looks like they've won 12 in a row. Cavs have won 14 in a row, just crazy. The Pistons are the 5 seed with Jamal and Booker. In the 6 spot, we have Lillard and Giannis, and the Sixers. In the 7 seed, Halliburton, Trae Young, and the Wizards. And in the 8 spot, this team, I think, was trying to tank, but they're actually winning right now with OG and Jaden Hardy. Then we have Nets, Celtics, Heat, Knicks, Hornets, Pacers, and the Bucks at the bottom, who are a minus 20 differential, and they've only won 4 games. They have not a good roster. I'm still surprised they've only won 4 games, though. Most teams will end up winning more than that. Out west, the top teams are similar to the East if you take out the Cavs. Houston is the 1 seed with Amen and Chet and Sabonis and Jimmy Butler. In the 2 spot, we have the Warriors with Morant and Brandon Miller. In the 3 spot, the Blazers with Giddey Tatum, who they traded for, Jaylen Brown. Then we have the Lakers with Lonzo and Cade. The Jazz, who traded for Luka. And then they obviously have Garrison Moss and Markkanen. In the 6th spot, the Nuggets with Ivy, Durant, Wemby. In the 7th spot, the Mavericks with Scoot. And then we have the Suns in the 8th spot right now, who may have also been trying to tank, except they have Jared Allen, so they're almost certainly going to make the playoffs. And then we have the Thunder, who traded away their stars and stayed in like the exact same spot. I guess they still have Jokic. Then we have the Outlaws, the Wolves, the Kings, the Grizzlies, the Sonics, and finally the Spurs, who are not nearly as bad as the worst team in the East, but I'm surprised they're not a little better. I mean, they have Siakam. I guess Siakam's just not good in Sim. Let's go. I'll show draft picks first. Just scroll through these really quick. The Bucks have an absolute crap ton of picks. I think they probably have the most in the league, which is fitting for them as they only have 4 wins. So they are going to need those picks, and they're going to need a lot of those rookies to pan out. Sonics and Grizzlies each have a good amount of picks. Hawks, Heat, Hornets, Jazz, Kings, the Knicks, 2031 second at the bottom. Lakers, Magic, the Mavs filled up the screen. Then we have Nets, Nuggets, Pacers, Outlaws, Pistons, the Raptors with a couple more there at the bottom. They got that Rockets first. Then the Rockets, the Spurs, who basically fill up the screen with their picks. Same with the Suns. Then we have the Thunder, the T-Wolves, the Blazers with about as few picks as they could have. Then we have the Warriors and the Wizards. I don't know if any free agents were offered. I'll show the top few here and how much money they want, but I'm not going to go that far into depth. Not sure anyone is too interested in any of these guys. What I'll actually just do is show a couple of the younger guys, because I think I showed a lot of the last guys in the last video. I'll flip a few teams so you can get some sort of a reading on this guy's potential, but it looks like teams have anywhere from a C to a B+. So maybe a guy worth making an offer on, Fred Early. He wants a minimum if someone wants to offer him. And then I just showed this guy's potential also, Liviu Irahan. Definitely a successful pronunciation. I can't talk. Let's go to extensions now and see who's still willing to re-sign. Looks like DeJounte Murray wants about 20. Levine will extend for 11, and then Melton wants a minimum. For the Bucks, Russell willing to extend, and so is Avdia. Finney Smith and Tyus Jones are willing to extend for the Bulls. Hello, fellows, says Yeetus. Jimmy Brewer is $2 million. No one for those teams. Anthony Davis now willing to extend for the Heat. I don't think he was before. Van Vliet and Maxey both still willing to extend for the Hornets. Clay and Clowney willing to extend for the Jazz. Horton Tucker for the Kings. No one for the Knicks. For the Lakers, Zach Collins, Pokuševski, and Bamba, 3 big men willing to re-sign. Zion is now willing to extend for the Magic, so that's big news. Then we have Alvarado, Kennard, Drummond, who want minimums, and Donovan Mitchell is willing to extend for them. JT Thor. It seems like we have a ton of people who are willing to extend, and that's good, but it almost seems like there's too many. And I wish there was some way to tone it down a little, because basically every player who's decent is just willing to re-sign. Like there's Devin Booker also for the Pistons, who's now willing to re-sign. Then we have Bagley and Harris for the Raptors. This guy who the Rockets are never going to re-sign. Malik Beasley and Marcus Smart, who only wants a minimum for the Thunder. Then we have Strus, CJ McCollum, and Clarkson for the Wolves, who don't want that much money. No one for the Blazers. Morant now willing to extend for the Warriors, as is Kawhi, who wants a pretty reasonable amount of money, considering he's still 90 overall. Monte Morris and Randall wants 21. So that is it for extensions. Let's go to salary breakdown, because I forgot to show this in the last video initially. The Bucks have 16 in room, and they have a couple guys expiring at the end of this year, so they definitely should have enough cap space to make some free agent offers. If anyone actually decides to become a free agent with how much people are extending. The Cavs with 91 over the cap, but they're in the 1 seed, so they can't complain. The Celtics have Michael Porter Jr. now, who they traded for. We'll see. I don't think he was willing to extend, but hopefully they can still grab him back in free agency. Sonics are barely over. The Grizzlies are 10 over, but with a good amount of expiring deals. Still have that Towns trade exception. The Hawks have all their top talent locked up for a really long time. The Heat are 76 over. Hornets are 16 over with Van Vliet expiring, but he is willing to sign that extension. Clay is expiring for the Jazz. I don't think they'll extend him, but you never know. I mean, he's still an 86. Even if he down progs again, he'll be like an 84 or whatever, so he'll be decent. Maybe worth extending for another year. The Knicks are 7 over. The Lakers are 94 over, and they have everyone at the top locked up long term. The Magic are 67 over with Capella and Martin Jr. expiring at the end of the season. The Mavs have 55 in room. 28 in or over for the Nets. Nuggets are 89 over. Simons and the Pacers, 74 over. 9 in room for the Outlaws, and some mid-sized contracts coming off the books at the end of the year. Pistons are 63 over and have most of their guys locked up for next year as well, aside from Zubac. The Raptors have $1 million in space, so not a lot they could do with that right now. The Rockets are 68 over the cap. And then we have the Spurs, who are beginning a rebuild. Still 23 million over right now. Maybe they'll want to dump that Grant contract. The Suns, who are 15 over. And the Thunder, who are 31 over. Wolves with 10 in space, and Strus, who's going to be expiring at the end of the year. They're probably going to be going into a rebuild as well. The Blazers are no longer over the hard cap. The Warriors have 75 over, basically 76. And then finally the Wizards, who are 38, almost 39 over. But they have Trae Young, who signed that extension, so that's good. I'll show stats. First I'll show the award races. Even though they were posted, I'll just scroll through them very briefly in the video as well. DPOY, Giannis and Wemby. Jovic, most improved for the Grizzlies. And clutch player is currently Steph. LaMelo MVP. Okay, let me go to, I'll look at power rankings really quick, just briefly. Cavs are 11-0 in the last month. Hawks are 13-2 in the last month. Bucks are obviously last in the power rankings. Nice record in the last month, Outlaws. You like to see that kind of record. We'll check out league leaders. Looks like that's weird. Devin Booker is currently still leading the league in points, followed by Zion, Steph, Green, Scoot, Mitchell, Ball, Miller, Doncic, Jokic. Then we have Tatum, Morant, Moss, Garland, Giddey, Cunningham, Edwards, Irving, Wembanyama, and Davis to round out the top 20. For rebounding, it's also Davis, barely edging out Mobley and Wemby, who are tied for second place. For assists, it's LaMelo, who's the assist GOAT, followed by Halliburton. Steals, it is going to be Halliburton at the top, followed by, what is this, like a four-way tie at 1.9 for second. Then for blocks, Jaren Jackson is leading the way, the usual good players at the top there for blocks. For turnovers, Dwight Hammonds of the Bucks. Fouls, Meeks. Field goal percentage, it's Duren, Allen Williamson, Isaiah Jackson. A lot of the usual big men who shoot really well. For three-point percentage, Luke Kennard is on top. OG Anunoby, I don't even know. Second, Jabari, who's injured. Then we have Booker, Hero, Garland, Sensbaugh, Brogdon, Sharp. Wemby is up there in three-point percentage. Monte Day, Julian Strother, Tony Barczyk. I don't know why I bother to say these names, man. We'll go through team stats and then we will end the video. A lot to show during the regular season. Looks like we're at 13 minutes already for the video. But this is the best team in the league right now, the Bucks. Obviously, very talented team. The Bulls were the 3 seed out east. That was sarcasm. The Cavs, who are the actual best team in the league. Grady Dick shooting .420 from 3. So is Malik Monk for the Celtics. For the Sonics, we have Jokic, who I think is most improved right now. Bilal Coulibaly averaging 6.9 rebounds for the Grizzlies. So is Koklo. Then we have Evan Mobley and the 5 seed Hawks. Anthony Davis, Kyrie Brunson, and the Heat. I'm surprised that team isn't doing better. We have the Hornets, who are still in the middle of a rebuild. The Jazz, who acquired Luka in exchange for Jokic, I believe, with the Thunder. The Kings, I'm surprised this team is not doing better also with Anthony Edwards. I guess Ingram isn't shooting it as well from 3 as you'd like. Neither is Fox. The Knicks, the Lakers, who were really good last year, but for some reason not repeating that success this year exactly, although it could just be an off year. The Mavs, with almost no one shooting above 40% from 3. The Nets. This stacked Nuggets team that I'm always surprised isn't playing a little better. That team's also a little strange because it has Durant, who's like really old, and then it has Wemby. But hey, not exactly on the same timetable, but you can't go wrong trying a bunch of different things. As long as you have Wemby, you can experiment for 10 years with different combinations of players. Then we have Amen, Chet, and the 1-seeded Rockets out west. Amen is only shooting 29% from 3. The Spurs with Barrett and Siakam. The Suns with Jared Allen. Jokic, who's 1.3 assists away from a triple-double for the Thunder. Not shooting it as well from 3 as he did a year ago. Curry and the Wolves. Then the Blazers, who acquired Jason Tatum here from the Thunder. They gave up Trae Young. The Warriors, who are probably being hurt by Jabari's injury, but they're still the 2 seed as far as I remember. And then finally, the Wizards, who acquired Trae Young eventually in that good move, and they're in the playoff picture out east. So I think that will do it for this video. Yeah, we're at like 17 minutes, so that's a lot of information. Should be everything that you guys need in there. Good luck. Trade deadline. You can see we are at the trade deadline right now. They're on February 4th, so the next sim will be the trade deadline for the season all the way up until the playoffs, which will then start a day later. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck, and bye-bye.